mentioned an AI nanny before in one of your interviews, and we have like Steve Omohundo's sort of idea that you have many sort of AIs that are sort of self-regulating each other, and then you got coherent extrapolated volition and your coherent aggregated volition.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
I mean,
different.
I feel like the coherent extrapolated volition and coherent aggregated volition, for that matter, are still very vague, loosey-goosey science fiction type ideas. And
Mm,
I think they're interesting directions for thought, and it's unclear to me whether anything like that could
mm.
be workable.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
seems as though it's very difficult to build one of those models without actually having an AGI in the first place.
yeah, that's right. On the other hand, an AGI nanny who kind of looks on and observes the human affairs and stops anything potentially existentially risky from happening. It's more clear to me that that could be viable if you couple it with very powerful surveillance technologies. I mean, there's obvious risks there as well. I mean, if that thing went rogue, then it becomes an AI dictator, right? Or if someone takes it over, then it
Mm.
becomes a medium for fascist control. On the other hand, if things go well, I think that's could be an interesting way to force a surge rather than a singularity. So you get
Mm.
back to talking about at the beginning. The AGI nanny wouldn't necessarily keep things at a static state, but it could stop things from exploding too fast. It could force there to be a surge instead of a singularity, meaning that human beings would have time to kind of guide what happens. And under the guidance of the AGI nanny itself. So, I mean, I think part of me rebels against that idea tremendously because, I like to be in control of my own destiny. I'm a very kind of autonomous, free thinking kind of guy. I don't like the idea of the AGI overlord telling me
Mm.
what I can or can't do because it doesn't want me to progress too fast. On the other
Mm.
hand, part of me thinks that may be the best option that we have to stop something just incredibly wacky and unpredictable from happening before we even know what's going on.
Mm. Yeah, that's right. One of my sort of questions about coherent extrapolated volition is that the idea is that they coherently like they extrapolate some form of like aggregate of all the what all the humans and maybe perhaps even animals would want. But what would we want when we were smarter? But at what level? What at what point in the likely branching continuums between our current level of intelligence and the extrapolated possible intelligence does AGI then decide to use as a model for determining what we want? So it's like, I mean, it
Yeah,
could branch in so many different directions, and at what point does the AGI then decide, okay, you're intelligent enough to know what's good for you?
yeah. I mean, but bigger question is that's one question. The bigger question is once you become much more intelligent and so forth, are you really even you anymore?
That's right.
And would there be any kind of convergence if we could all be more intelligent, but be also the person that we now would like ourselves to be? I mean, take a fundamentalist Muslim, which is a controversial example. I mean, if they're smarter and if they were their ideal, maybe they'd be an even more religiously extreme fundamentalist Muslim, ruthless in looking for Sharia law across the
Mm,
world or something. I mean, I'm not sure why you assume getting smarter and becoming more the people that we would like to be
mm,
would make us converge. It could make us diverge
mm,
because often our ideals diverge more than our realities. I mean, what I would like to be and what a fundamentalist Muslim would like to be are
mm,
more different than our current existences because our current existences are, they're largely guided by our human bodies and the impulses that we can't control, right?
Yeah, I just get the intuition that if everybody were intelligent enough, if then we'd be able to see past a lot of the logical fallacies that are inherent in a lot of the fundamentalist and dogmatic sort of philosophies.
Oh, I don't know, because they don't care about those logical fallacies, because logic isn't what's important. If people have different values, which I think is the case, we all start out with the same evolutionary set of values in our brain, but then our value sets diverge, right? So, to the extent that people have different values, getting smarter doesn't necessarily change that, because I mean, intelligence is about how well you can achieve your goals and fulfill your values. It's not so much about what values are. So I'm not sure. I mean, you could say there are some value systems that just become unsustainable when you get more intelligent, though. Like, say, a pig's value system is just to eat as much as possible and fuck now and then, right? And
Mm.
maybe no creature with human level intelligence would ever get such a simple value system as that, because their intelligence would just lead them in a different direction. So maybe once humans got smarter and smarter, they would adopt quite different values than anything that human beings have now. And then it becomes tricky. Like, so the pig wants to eat and have sex, right? But you could say, well, I know if your IQ became much harder, you would want, I know if your IQ became much higher, then you would want other things instead. Then you, Mr. Pig, would want to do mathematics and would want to watch American Idol instead of eating and having sex, right? So because you can extrapolate that that super intelligent version of the pig would want to do other things, then what? You're justified in giving the pig a world full of mathematics and American Idol and increasing its brain to be smarter and smarter? Maybe, but that thing you created has nothing to do with the original pig, really. So I
Mm.
mean, there are many, many, many subtle questions wrapped up in
Yeah,
the
identity.
extrapolated volition. So I think it's more a kind of funky thought experiment than something that's ever going to be implemented.
Mm. What do you think about Steve Omohundro's social safety net?
Um, it's less obviously fanciful than the coherent extrapolated volition. I mean, I think its viability depends on things we don't know now, which is just how fast is it going to be to get from human level AI to 10 times as smart as human level AI, and how fast to go to the next level. If it's not so hard to take that step from human level AI to far smarter than human level AI, then this thing won't work, because one of the AIs in the social safety net will find some sneaky way to slip past the net and become smarter.
Mm.
If that next step of advancement turns out to be quite difficult, then maybe his social safety net would work.
Mm.
So I think that the viability depends on things we don't know. And we might know by the time we make a human level AI,
Mm.
because we might have a better understanding of AI theory then, or we might not know by then. I don't know.
I think it's good that we're thinking about these sorts of things now rather than, just at the last minute.
Even though
Um,
90% of our thoughts now will probably seem silly by the last minute when we know more about AGI. Yeah, I think you're right. It's still worth working through these issues now in as much as possible.
yeah, definitely. Agreed.
All right, I'm sleepy. I usually am a night owl, but I hardly slept at all last night.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine. Well, it's been a great interview.
Yeah, yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, well, I will look forward to speaking with you again soon, and definitely when you're in Australia anyway. So, yeah, look forward to that.
All right. Well, I will see you in August, and we'll be interacting about the flight arrangements and stuff before then. So,
Definitely, will do. Okay, I'll
all right,
I'll email you about that. Okay,
cool.
thanks, Ben.
All right, talk to you
Thanks very
later.
much.